Welcome. Now, as we all know, 50% of all films are now computer-generated. And 50% of all computer games are full of actors.
This great ogre as a lead was very, very liberating.
And 90% of all women are liars, and 60% of all dogs are made of rubber. Not sure about that last one, actually. Nevertheless, we take a look at the game and the film of Shrek the Third.
I'm gonna go get me a deck chair and one of those drinks with a little umbrella in it.
And take a look at Bill Gates' latest invention.
It's actually a Windows personal computer.
And become overlords. But first, dirt.
No room for failure. We want to win.
It's been nearly 2 years since Colin McRae last brought us an addition to his long-running rally franchise, and a lot has changed since then. We've been blessed with a new generation of consoles with new levels of visual realism, and the Flying Scotsman has stopped dominating the World Rally Championship, which was bound to happen once he started driving for Skoda. So along comes Colin McRae Dirt, and as it turns out, this is a world apart from the series' previous incarnations. Colin has taken a back seat for this one. Instead, Codemasters have gone for a similar setup to their race driver games. Here, your skills are tested with 6 dirt racing disciplines as you strive to become the world's best off-roader. There's classic point-to-point rallying with the help of a co-driver.
Right 4, left 5. And right 4 long.
Crossover, which is like the super special stages in rally events, head-to-head racing on a 2-lane circuit. For Rallycross, you race a field of drivers on a circuit that combines both mud and tarmac sections. Rally Raid pits the heavier vehicles against each other, racing on long off-road courses. CORE stands for Championship Off-Road Racing. These events are for racing off-road trucks and buggies on small motocross-like circuits. Finally, there's the hill climb, which is self-explanatory, really. There are 45 officially licensed cars, trucks and buggies to spend your winnings on, and each of these has a selection of different paint jobs to collect. Vehicle models are realistic and detailed right down to the interiors, while the level of damageability puts other driving games to shame. Handling here is tighter and often more forgiving than the old Colin McRae games, but it also manages to be subtle enough to challenge more experienced drivers. Online multiplayer sees up to 100 players in a lobby where everyone votes for their preferred car and track. Then the rally or hill climb stage is set and everyone's start times are synced up, so it's effectively like real rallying, your time against theirs.
80s, left 6, jump.
This system works well, but it would have been nice if head-to-head modes were available too. The overall presentation here is so attractive, we felt it deserved a special mention. You're guided around by the cheerful Travis Pastrana, America's premier rally driver.
Oh man, can you taste it? We're almost ready to drive.
All things considered, this is the most variety-packed off-road racer money can buy. We'll give it 4 out of 5.
Good evening, minions! Welcome to fight time!
Good prevails. Evil has fallen. Rejoice! Oh, hang on, don't rejoice. You're evil. It's those lads over there who are good. And is that your garage they're pulling down?
Hey, we don't need this crane anymore. You take it.
Well, it is ours, wretched creatures.
Never mind. Like all good villains, you can regenerate.
It's him.
And clad once more in ghostly armour, lovely, you are the Overlord, the mighty, and you have to start all over again. As you might have guessed by now, this action RPG has its tongue pressed very firmly into its cheek. You're indeed the Overlord, and you're going to have to rebuild your mighty evil empire. You'll have generals on your quests, and a jester. But the most hands-on of your staff are your minions, demonic little critters that you quite literally suck out of the ground. These chaps go everywhere with you, even though there is a steadily increasing limit to the number of minions you can escort at any one time. They'll fetch you things and team up to open gates, but more importantly, they'll attack anybody you want. The list of enemies does include traditional RPG monsters like the Troll here. In this mixed-up comedy take on swords and sorcery, little hobbits are enemies too, and you can take great pleasure in using a fire spell to incinerate the long grass they like to sit in. Minions can sacrifice themselves to top up your energy levels, and gradually quests will move away from hobbit frying and involve courting human populations, bashing monsters and pulling girls. Hooray! Key locations for Overlorddom include the Tower, which is the central node of your teleportation powers, and the dungeon, where you can fight conquered enemies all over again. A very funny game, but there are problems. Chief among them is a lack of either a map or a compass, so when angry humans say there's a halfling village to the east, you're still left wandering around trying to find it. The lack of proper analog stick camera control is a real pain as well. Still, highly amusing, a real kick in the arse of dry and self-important fantasy titles, so we'll give it 4 out of 5.
I smell magic in the air. That's never a good smell.
Microsoft's research boffins have been busy turning their vision for the PC's future into reality, and it seems the future will look like an early 70s coffee table. The software giant recently unveiled their new technology, and the Big Cheese himself was keen to show the world what his table can do.
Here I've got a table, we call it Microsoft Surface, and when I put my fingers on, there's a camera that recognizes where I'm touching. In fact, I can touch at different places from any side of the table. And so it's actually a Windows personal computer, but with this new Surface capability. Here we can see that anywhere I touch, recognize it. I can touch with multiple fingers, different types of paint brushes, and use those. Well, the thing that allows software to do its magic is how simple we can make it to get at the information. And so we've been investing heavily in all sorts of natural interfaces. We're working on speech recognition and ink recognition, but this simple video recognition opens up a whole new world. And so this is a key part of why computing won't look the same 5 years from now as it looks today.
And here's the really cool part.
Photos are a great example of something that's easy to work with. In fact, any photo I've taken that I want to add into this collection, it can actually see there's a camera there, and it'll use the wireless connection to actually get the photos that are my photos and bring those down onto the Surface.
The possibilities for drinking games are huge.
I've got beverages that I can call up, step through those, very visual. Anything that looks good, I just put that into my list.
Can you tell what it is yet?
This is actually a video puzzle. We've made it a little tough in that these things can be flipped the wrong way, and so it's actually surprisingly difficult to do this. It's kind of fun. You can see, which of these things should go together.
Hey, that's Forza! So, Surface Computing will do away with your mouse and keyboard, any cables connecting to external devices, and will also give you somewhere to rest your cup of tea. Surely this Minority Report-style futurism will cost a fortune.
When it starts out, it's more in the range of what a commercial establishment would buy. But over time, like all things, the personal computer, big displays, the price will come down, and we'll have these at people's homes. We used to say a computer on every desktop, and now we say that every desktop will be a computer.
We can see that surface computing could have enormous potential for games and can't wait to get our hands on one. But that might take a while. We'll take a break right now, but come back. Part 2 is heaving with Shrek, both the game and the movie.
Ultimate Fighter 5, tonight at 11, exclusive to Bravo.
Welcome back. What's massive, misshapen, green and Scottish but still hip? It's Shrek.
Third time's a charm. Woo! I love thirds. 3 is the magic number.
An even surer bet than Death or Taxes is the production of Shrek sequels. Number 3 is out in the States, and despite whispers that it's not quite as good as its predecessors, it's raking it in. We met all the incredibly famous people who were in it.
Devon, it's time to get moving. Ah! You know, you really need to get yourself a pair of jammies.
Shrek is being asked to be the king.
You and Fiona are next in line for the throne.
Oh, next in line. Now, you see, Dan, that's why people love you. Even on your deathbed, you're still making jokes.
They have to look for somebody called Artie that comes to be the King Arthur.
Artie?
Oh, there goes my hip.
Artie, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
This really isn't up to you.
But I don't know anything about being king.
You'll learn on the job.
He still feels that he's an ogre, and ogres can't do certain things in the world, and the whole movie's about Shrek, you know, coming to understand that ogres can be a king, ogres can be a father, and ogres can be anything they want to be.
A little rusty, so there could be some side effects.
Side effects?
Don't worry, whatever it is, no matter how excruciatingly painful it may be, it'll wear off eventually, I think.
This great ogre as a lead was very, very liberating. And then to just, you know, just go for the mythical kind of sweetness and light and just play the other side of it and let comedians come in and be funny about it.
If Artie trusts him, that's good enough for me. Even if his robe doesn't quite cover his...
Alacricious, expeditious, and zoom zoom zoom.
When you watch the first Shrek, you're learning, you're getting to know these characters, and now after Shrek 2 and this one, you know the characters, and you just open to go on an adventure with them.
Oh, man, I haven't been on a trip like that since college.
Donkey?
If I were to drop dead, they'd put a picture of that donkey in the paper and say Eddie Murphy passed away to that issue. They want that to be me.
Life is hard being Eddie Murphy. Nevertheless, you can bet your ass, get it, that he'll be appearing in Shrek 4 and 5, as well as Shrek toys, toasters, curling irons, hedge trimmers, and, oh, there's a game as well.
Well, 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 if it isn't Sir Shrek.
And you are?
A friend of a friend.
Back many moons ago, it was a given that any video game even remotely connected to a major motion picture was a dead loss. Trust us, we're old enough to remember Ghostbusters for the ZX Spectrum. It wasn't a pretty sight. But in these lightning modern times where the divide between state-of-the-art computer cartoon and its accompanying game is wafer thin, things are different. They've made Shrek the Third, the game, good by shock horror injecting some of the wit, variety and verve that you'll find in the flick.
I'm gonna go get me a deck chair and one of those drinks with a little umbrella in it.
We, or rather Mike Myers, explained the plot of the film mere moments ago, so we'll just stick to the plus points of the game. Shrek the Third never stops moving and changing, and you'll play just about every character you could want to, including Puss in Boots, Fiona and of course the ogre himself. There are also a wide variety of levels, including the Evil Queen's Castle, which is exclusive to the game. But more than that, when's the last time this happened in a 3D platform game?
And scoundrels have died of my dose. Why do you think Peter Pan isn't in this game? Take a wild guess. Because I'm evil. He's evil.
Perhaps even more surprising is when the land of Far, Far Away is abandoned altogether and you find yourself steering a bee round a modern city. Alright, it's a shameless ad for an upcoming film, but it's still fun. Is there anything new or radical here? Of course not. It's a movie tie-in, not a place for risk. It's merely an awful lot of nice, entertaining stuff under one whimsical roof. A compendium of 3D platforming stunts, and it's ironic that the compromised world of sequels and Happy Meals can still churn out products like this. Who are you going to call? Probably not Ghostbusters. 4 out of 5. The SOCOM franchise has again gone portable in the form of Tactical Strike on the PSP. At the recent Sony Gamers Day, we asked this guy to give us a demo.
And here's my fire team of 4 U.S. Navy SEALs. And we've inserted into the jungle to locate a crashed helicopter. So in Tactical Strike, we don't control an individual SEAL, we control an entire fire team. And right now I have my entire fire team in focus. So I'm going to take my group and I'm going to stealth them up to this piece of cover. Now there's an enemy up ahead in the trail. And when I get here, I'm going to order Wraith, my sniper, to take him out silently. The speed and accuracy with which Wraith can snipe, it has to do with his skills, and you can upgrade his skills as you play through the game.
Each SOCOM squad is made up of 2 sub-teams, Able and Bravo. The area of a planned attack against an enemy is known as a field of fire.
I'm coming up to a little bit of a larger firefight, so I'm actually going to split my team. I'm going to place Able Element against this cover, have them stealth into position here. Able Element's going to very carefully head over to that cover position I've identified. And now I'm going to get Able to issue a field of fire on the enemy, but I'm going to defer that command on my signal, so now they're waiting for me. Now I'm going to come back to Bravo, and I'm going to push Bravo ahead, have them stealth up to an even more advanced position behind cover. And I'm going to unleash my attack from Able on my signal now. And then once we've taken out this last enemy, I'm going to regroup the entire fire team. In a broad sense, everything is driven off menus and most things are context sensitive. But basically the X button is the attack button and the circle button is the move button. But if you want to do something more complex, you hold the button down and then you get a menu of choices. Now I've hit my objective and I found this crashed chopper, but numerous reinforcements are moving in. I'm going to set a field of fire for my Able team, and then I'm going to push Bravo around the side and try and flank these guys.
Or did you guys say it?
Okay, I'm bringing Bravo to some lower cover here around the side. Get some crossfire going. Put a field of fire from this. I'm going to go check on Able. I'm just going to use a frag to finish off this last guy. Alright, I hope you enjoyed checking out the SOCOM Tactical Strike, which is available exclusively on the PSP in the fall.
For a while, Crash Bandicoot was the closest thing the PS1 had to a mascot. His hyperactive antics carried him through multiple platforming follow-ups, as well as various kart racing and party game spin-offs. Now Crash is coming back to make his debut on a new generation of consoles. We caught up with Kirsten Forbes, the producer of Crash of the Titans, to get the lowdown.
We knew we wanted to take Crash a little bit more back to his roots and also modernize him. So this is Crash's newest adventure, Crash of the Titans. And it's about Crash being able to take over and control all the enemies in the game in order to defeat the evil Neocortex.
The main gameplay feature here might lead you to believe that Crash is getting lazy in his old age.
The idea of the hook taking over actually came a little bit from Crash Tag Team Racing, where you were able to merge vehicles together. So we had that concept of one thing empowering another thing. How do you get a character, a small guy in a big world, how do you give him that kind of power? And so that's what we were really searching for, is that, you know, that real empowerment, that real emboldenment as a gamer. And the answer was by taking over and controlling the enemy. So the mantra on the team was always multiple playable weapons.
There'll be a version of Crash of the Titans released for just about every format. It's the Wii version that looks particularly interesting though, as this will be Crash's first time on Nintendo's latest machine. What special control methods can we expect?
Every move that the enemy makes when you're hijacked on top of them, you emulate exactly with the controller. So for instance, we have one huge creature in the game named Scorporilla. She's a huge gorilla scorpion mix, and her special attack is to pound on her chest and then smash on the ground, and you literally do that exactly with your controller.
To help bring Crash and his cronies to life, Radical Entertainment have drafted in some of the finest voice talent in the cartoon world.
We were really looking for that comedic value.
Dragon blastedness!
We just wanted the people who we knew could voice the stuff, who had a real range of voice. And so we got guys like Tom Kenny, who's SpongeBob.
Oh, that's bad.
We got Debbie Derryberry, who is Jimmy Neutron. Jess Arnell, who is Captain Hero. It was the quality of voice that we wanted.
So far, so good. Those who've missed this manic marsupial will be pleased to know that Crash will be landing back on our consoles later this year. As a gaming icon, the little rodenty thing will never die. Well, it's been wonderful. We really must get over this cinematic obsession. Oh, next week it all goes Harry Potter. See ya.
Man, I haven't been on a trip like that since college.
Straight from